Okay, so we are back from our trip, and so we're just trying to get everything in place for the 72 Fest, which is in 2 days, starts on Thursday. And so we just had our kind of like core team meeting to figure out what has been done, what needs to still be done. Some of the major things are that we've confirmed most of our crew, most of our talent. We kind of went through the roles of like who would do what so that we could identify any gaps. And one thing we identified is like, oh, we don't really have anyone on audio, which is super important. So then we reached out to some of our audio guys to figure out who might be available. We also tried to figure out like who's going to be doing food. We also talked about locations.
Yeah, we were figuring out like where we filmed before, where we want to film, reaching out to some of those locations to see what we have kind of in our pocket as we go to write the script, so we don't write something that we don't have. We're also kind of bouncing about the studio here, making sure our edit bays are updated, and the operating systems are on the right version. We're all on the same version of Premiere, so when it's time to edit, we can just not have those hurdles to jump over.
Trying to figure out like who's going to be going to the launch party, who's going to be part of that initial like story writing team, who's going to be part of like the actual script writing team. So there's still a few things that we have to work through, but we've got a lot of it, like 80% of stuff in place, and over the next 2 days we'll kind of get the rest of that in place.
We also had the conversation about like what kind of movie we want to make this weekend. Obviously we don't know what the credentials are, criteria. Obviously we don't know what the criteria are yet, but we're like, hey, we have a lot of actors that want to be involved, so we know we want to make like an ensemble film. And we know that we don't necessarily want to like do a lot of building this time. We want to build in a spaceship. So setting these like, now that might all go out the window, I don't know. But we're setting these like limitations on ourselves while we're like 2 days before awake and focused, so we can have like this guidebook to go off. Like, oh, remember we said we didn't want to do this, so let's try to remember that.
A couple major things that still need to be done are prepping the gear we're going to use the day of shooting. Like this seems really minor, but it's actually pretty important, and something you can do way ahead of time is figure out who on your crew and cast has like allergies or special dietary needs. Like we know we have some people on our crew, cast or crew, that are vegetarians, pescatarians, gluten-free, and so we're just trying to figure that out ahead of time. So
one cannibal. No, I'm kidding.
And so we're just trying to figure out all that stuff ahead of time, so our food team can be on top of it.
Who's buying beer? That's the important one too.
Well, and one other thing we need to determine is like where our home base is going to be. You really want to have like your kind of headquarters figured out and ready to go with snacks and drinks, and figure out like, okay, where is everyone meeting before you go out to shoot for the day, or where you're going to meet to write. So that's what we're doing to get ready. I hope that helps you guys figure out what you might be missing to get ready yourselves.